Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Monday, September 6th. It is Labor Day, but we are laboring. Our hands look like this, so your hands can look like this. This is our music episode of Jenkins and Jonez. That's all anyone's talking about. That's all we've really been talking about. So we're
shit happened in basketball this week, dog.
We are not breaking down the DeAndre Jordan signing. You could put
DeAndre Jordan buyout.
Put a fucking gun to my head. We are not talking about DeAndre Jordan for 10 minutes
we ain't
today.
down that bad, no sir.
As always, Jenkins and Jonez is hosted by my good buddies, Dragonfly Jones, aka Tyler.
Hey everybody, I'll have a go.
Jethro Jenkins, aka John.
Hey, you put a lot of sauce in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I got a little razzle dazzle got there.
You put about 30% more tongue in that motherfucker.
I'm Mike.
That bubbles though.
Tyler has a mic stand this week, so he's got room to put the extra slobber on the fucking intro.
Fuck yeah. Technology, baby. Gotta love it.
Shit. Okay. So Drake dropped an album, and I feel like this might be, I don't know, the next time I guess when Kendrick comes out, but like it's very rare at this point that an album drops and everyone listens to it at the same time and talks about it for a day. I feel like it was a very throwback experience. So what did you guys think of the album, and did you enjoy that kind of like group listening 1996 ass fucking feel that Twitter had that night?
We used to do it. This used to be a thing. It hasn't been as of late for sure.
Not for a minute.
Yeah, I love it. I don't really live tweet too much with certain artists when they drop because I know I'm gonna get a lot of assholes in my mention. So I didn't really participate in the live tweeting of Drake because Drake is one of those guys who brings the assholes out. You know what I mean? But I love the album. It's cold.
I got clowned for enjoying the marketing of it. Like I was like, the marketing of this is brilliant. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking of the billboard and how it's a tactile way of marketing a dated one, but they made it a viral one. I thought it was really interesting and creative. You know what I'm saying? Using the people that were in the other cities to support them. You know what I mean? And garner the excitement as well. And they were like, I like marketing too, and mock me.
Right. Like, I don't get, bro, it was a brilliant marketing campaign. Like, it was a campaign that we're going to remember forever. It was original. It was fun. It made fans participate. It built fans' anticipation. Like, it was perfect. Like, how can you, criticize that? Like, oh, I love marketing too. Motherfucker, that wasn't just marketing. Marketing is saying, new album on September 3rd. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, and people were saying it was lazy. It's just a billboard. You know how much fucking time went into that billboard and dropping it at that point? They picked the fonts, the typefaces that are used. There's like hours and days of that are put into that alone. Like art direction, strategy, all that shit. And I love that shit. Like I said, I got a fucking subscription to Adweek. I'm a nerd about this shit. So I didn't even notice he was. I didn't know he was clowning me until hours later when I looked and they were firing me up.
John tweeted about how much he loved the marketing, and this dude quote tweeted him and said, "I also love marketing." And John was like, "Right, because marketing is really actually artistic and all." And like the whole time the dude was like, "Look at this nerd motherfucker talking about marketing."
But the thing is, he was like, and the next tweet he was like, blind, like whatever, like loving an artist blindly is bad. I'm like, nigga, I don't even fuck with Drake, nigga. Like that. You know what I'm saying? The marketing got me excited about Certified Lover Boy, like CLB. That's what got me excited. The advertisements, you know what I mean?
Motherfuckers be too cool to be impressed, dog. That's all it is, man.
Right,
Motherfuckers,
like,
they be too cool to be impressed. And this was an impressive marketing campaign. It intrigued the fuck out of me. And like you, Drake is cool with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a Drake stan.
I respect
you know
Drake.
What I mean?
I'm not I wouldn't say I'm like views, all that shit. I mean,
I think all three of us have gotten fired the fuck up on Twitter by the masses for saying negative things about Drake. Yes.
Right. I mean, I talk about
none of us are like, oh, the new Drake album. Like, I would say I was more excited about this album release than I've been about any other Drake album release.
This was like the playoffs this year, where I enjoyed them with no rooting interest. You know what I mean? That's how I felt listening to Drake. Like, I didn't care if it was good or not. I was interested because I felt like if this wasn't a good album, we might be watching the decline. I still think he's plateauing, but he's still plateauing at the fucking peak of the mountain. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's really, for me, I would say, like you said, this is the most I was excited about the album coming out. I enjoyed the fucking, I was high as fuck when it dropped. It was 12 a.m. listening to fucking Project Pat. You know what I mean? And like 21 Savage. I'm a dancing ass nigga. Like, I'm top 3 car dancers on the planet, nigga. This is a perfect album to car dance to. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, this is made for me, nigga. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's fun. Like you said, we talked about this Tyler Clown and nigga because he was saying we definitely don't need to talk about that. Those, you know, like the abortion.
Someone tweeted like, why doesn't Drake talk about social issues? And it was
like a Moor, though. He was like one of them niggas, like a, you know, he was probably a barber. You know what I mean? Like
a barber.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
had a lot of stars on his hat. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like on his kufi. One of them niggas. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
we absolutely do not need Drake's comments on the military withdrawing from Afghanistan. Like, that is not what we go to Aubrey for, bro. But I will say though, there is a discussion about the lack of growth in his music that I think has some merit, though. I think that's a discussion worth having. I think he has a formula that he sticks to perfectly. And like you said, he's plateaued, but he's still at the mountaintop with it, right? Like, that formula's still clicking on all cylinders. But I understand people saying, bro, you're still looking at life and relationships and such through the same lens you did when you were 22. And you're 35 now, right? And the thing is, you know, all rappers, truth be told, all rappers are 1-2 trick ponies, right? All rappers have their one lane that they stick in. Like, you know, you got a rapper like Currency. His lane is weed and cars. You're never going to be too old to rap about that. You know, a rapper like Rick Ross, his lane is luxury living. You're never going to be too old to rap about that. But these Drake bars like, oh, you're not returning my text, but I see you posting on Instagram. You're going to age out of that shit, bro. You're 35 now. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing with which is why I think a lot of people have these issues with Drake is Drake sold his fan base, his listeners on the journey he was trying to make, right? Like, he was like, I'm here now. I'm trying to figure this life shit out. I'm trying to get to here. And it doesn't look like he's progressing to there. You know what I mean? So I get that criticism.
Do you remember when we had Dan Le Batard on and I asked him about he was always the anti-establishment guy at ESPN, and now he's got $1 billion media company. Right? And he said it was really useful being at ESPN to have that thing to throw rocks at, right? And now you have to figure out what to do when you don't have that. Drake sold the underdog story, and he's been the biggest rapper for quite some time now.
Biggest artist, period, perhaps, in all of music, right? Like,
yeah.
Like you're not the underdog who no one believed in anymore. You know, you got a song called No Industry Friends. You got half the fucking industry on your album, bro. Like, you know, rappers don't be living their raps, but goddamn, Drake, you know, this map ain't map here, dog.
Right. And so I think, and so I was just gonna say, so I think like that's very fair. Like, the difference is he's still popular, but his songwriting has progressed about as much as Weezer's has from when they first came out, right? Like, he's still kind of doing the like 19-year-old fucking songwriting in terms of relationships and stuff. And it's like, you are now talking about women who are richer than anyone listening to your album. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different.
This man Drake is in a song talking about he won't tell anyone. And he's telling everybody in the song. When he's talking about the relationship he had with I think it's his baby mama. I think that's what he's singing about. Like, their experiences or whatever, like him supporting a stripper, having a baby with her, whatever. Like, and it's like, you know, I won't tell him. I'm like, nigga, but you know he's aware of this. But I really think Drake's music doesn't change because Drake's a little slut, bro. I think he's a little slut, a little bad bitch. He got the heart tattooed. He take the little cute pictures with his shoulder out, with the cardigan on, and his, you know what I'm saying? Like, with his little shoulder out on his Instagram. Drake's a little wild boy, and I think the thing is, I think he's actually realized he's just a little slut, and so he just sticks to that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think Drake's music hasn't changed because his life hasn't changed. He has a kid now, and he talks about that, and that experience, like, you don't love me like my son. But as far as daily, I think he's still out here wilding. And good for him, man. Lean into who you are. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's what that's why I think his music has to change, because his life hasn't yet. You know what I mean? And I don't, it's not got to the point where, like, it's still fun enough, because he has people, like, you saw all the features he had, which made it fun. Like, you know what I mean? But I'll say this. I didn't need Drake on that Project Pack. I didn't need him on Knife Talk. He should have just let Project Pack, he should get Project Pack more, you know what I'm saying? Let him do more Project Pack shit, him and 21. I think Project Pack and 21 should drop an EP, 5 to 7 songs, straight fucking heat. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna break a sweat listening to that motherfucking shit. That shit would be perfect, dog.
Yeah. I also think a part of why he hasn't matured much is that he's probably still dealing with the same age group of women he's been dealing with for 12 years, right? Like, he's got a song called TSU on that motherfucker, Texas Southern University, where he's talking about a girl stripping,
That's what he's
right?
talking about. That's what I was talking about. He said, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Was he not talking about the chick his baby mama? I thought he was talking about her. That's what I thought it was.
No. He's talking about a chick from Houston who was, stripping and shit.
And I'll say this, bro. Like, people talk about Tricky, bro. I would be the same nigga. If I had Drake money, bro, I'm supporting all of my friends. All of my friends. You need some help? Holler at me. It ain't Tricky if you got it. I get that, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't need all this damn money.
But there was this post that I think perfectly summarized, Drake and his progression or lack thereof, that I'm gonna read right now. It's from Damon Young. Some thoughts on Certified Lover Boy. I think someone once said that Drake's base audience is niggas not clever enough to write their own IG captions. I think that someone was me 17 minutes ago. I think I have jokes. I think Drake creates aggressively accessible art. I think that seems like an insult, but it ain't. His genius is in the mastery of whichever algorithmic process is necessary to create consistent earworms. I think it takes tremendous effort to make success seem so effortless. It seems easy enough that anyone can do it, but anyone can't. Just him. So it ain't. I think that accessibility comes at a cost, and I think the flip side of it is disposability. I think rap is inherently political. Even when the politics are terrible, such as Kanye, they're still present in the music. I think another way of saying aggressively accessible is apolitical. I think remaining apolitical in 2021 is a choice. I think Drake's albums give no indication of what's happening in the world outside of his. Certified Lover Boy could have been dropped with this exact same content in 2012, and Nothing Was the Same could have been dropped today. I think the only way you know what year it is when you listen to a Drake album is by who's chosen for the features. I think a charitable takeaway from this is that his music is timeless. An uncharitable takeaway is that it's trite. I think it's unfair to expect rappers to create art that feels untrue to them. It's not Drake's fault that the world is burning around him, nor should we expect him to engage with it. And I think the low stakes ease and predictability of his art can be an escapist balm and an anxiety alleviator, both of which are vital, especially now. It's just frustrating sometimes because it's just that and nothing else. I think that's my fault, though, not his. I think he's the world's most lucrative and effective palate cleanser. And I think if you're hungry for something more tactile in his art, now, 13 years in, you deserve to starve. I think he hit the nail on the head there, Bubbas.
Hit the nail on the head there, Bubba.
I think the most interesting thing that human beings do with art is that Shakespeare goes from being someone who wrote for who is like a popular artist, right? Like there were highbrow artists when Shakespeare was writing, and he was not one of them, right? But now, if your stuff survives long enough, the way it survives is in criticism and academia to some extent. And so Shakespeare and Charles Dickens, they were writing Friends, bro, right? I mean, like they were writing Seinfeld for their era.
Mm-hmm.
And
Seinfeld's smart, though. Friends isn't.
People didn't think Dickens. People didn't think Dickens was smart, and people didn't think Shakespeare was smart.
I'm
at
saying
the time.
Seinfeld is smart. Friends,
Shakespeare got hella fart jokes in his work, bro.
I'm just, I'm not. I mean,
I feel what you're saying.
We're talking in 2000. We're talking in 2021. But if this podcast was happening 400 years ago, you might have been saying, Marlowe is smart, Shakespeare's not. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
So, like this, and I'm a snobbish ass person at my core. I'm also like I'm truly like English lit major, like snobbery. And then I'm not that at the same time, but I think that's how most people are. Harold Bloom was a literary critic who wrote exactly what this dude just wrote about Drake, about Edgar Allan Poe. Like,
Right.
Edgar Allan Poe was not, like he criticized him for prioritizing access over technique, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that misses out on, and I like Harold Bloom and snobbish ass people because they put me onto good stuff I wouldn't have heard of otherwise many times. But what they don't understand is that, like, Edgar Allan Poe succeeds because he connects to everybody. And Drake is the same thing. And I like that in that piece that he wrote, he understands that is a skill that Drake has, even if it's annoying. If it's one of those things where people talk about selling out or, being apolitical or being overly accessible. If everyone could do that, most people would do it. Most people would trade whatever artistic aspirations they have for the amount of commercial success that Drake has. What interests me, if there is anything about Drake that interests me artistically, is he has the tension of someone who wants the respect of an underground artist and the status of the number one music artist in any genre. And I think that tension is genuinely actually very interesting.
He'll give you a song where it's like one or two songs where it's like, bitch, I'm just rapping to let you know who the fuck I really am. He can rap his ass off too. And I think the thing is, like, I think Drake is brilliant. I think his music is apolitical and all that, but I don't think Drake is. I think Drake is a very smart dude. I think he's very, very talented. When you hear Drake talk, he knows exactly what he's doing. You know what I mean? I think he chooses that. But if you look at Drake, like, we know the cover of, and Drake knew this, the cover of CLB, it's not pretty. It's not a pretty cover. It's not a good cover if you're looking at it artistically. But when you look at the result of it, it was mean hellas, which helped to advertise the album.
Every social media manager for every brand in America, from mid-major colleges to fucking Coca-Cola,
is researching that shit, like, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying?
Figure out
so,
how
like,
to do their own version.
When you look at the album cover, it's artistically, it's not good. The effect of it was great, and that's what Drake was looking at. What is the effect of this? And his whole team, not just Drake, his team. What's the effect of this cover? Not like, I don't give a fuck about, like, is it a beautiful aesthetic, aesthetically pleasing album cover? You know what I'm saying? And that's how he approaches things. So it might be, and I think, like, so, I mean, there's brilliance, there's like Kendrick, everything Kendrick does, I don't know if you peep, like his album cover, his fucking, every bar, every fuck, you know what I'm saying, is meant, but he doesn't waste everything. He's searching for, like, aesthetically pleasing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a particular, like, level of art in everything he does. Drake's not like that. But there's why, Kendrick is incredible and it has a hell of a lot of his success. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? But Drake's success, he's breaking records on fucking Spotify because of how he approaches it. And they're both brilliant. They're just different. So, like, what your dude said is, I completely agree. But I think, like, I think Drake's music and how he approaches it there's brilliance in that as well. It's just not, it depends on how you look at it.
He and Kendrick are both doing who they are is why it works. I guess my point.
I don't really think, like, I think Drake is a thespian, nigga. Like, when you see him doing, like, mimicking people and shit, like, you see he's very, when he did Manny Pacquiao, you know what I mean? Like, dude, he, like, the details, I mean, he's very detail oriented, but he thinks about it and approaches shit in a different way. You know what I mean? For success as far as in numbers and stuff. Like you said, like they use the word algorithmic. Nobody uses the algorithm better than fucking Drake. You know what I mean? He understands the internet in a way that is abnormal, and he approaches making music in that same way. Like, you know what I'm saying? And his marketing is the same. You know what I mean? So I respect both of them. I like Kendrick. I like Drake. You know what I mean? I'm not watching Drake's videos 4 years later like I'm watching, you know what I'm saying, what Kendrick did, you know what I'm saying, with Dave Free and all that artistically is beautiful, you know what I mean? But I still respect both approaches. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Going back to what Mike said about how Drake has his eyes on being the biggest artist in the world and also being respected by the, most grimiest, most gutterous rappers for his talent. Drake is a dude who knows that making himself the butt of the joke at times will expand his reach further than being the serious rapper guy. You know what I mean? Like the cover, for instance, the Way Too Sexy video is fucking comedy. You know what I mean?
It's great.
It's hilarious. And, his SNL appearances and such. So he knows, when it's time to make himself the butt of the joke to further his reach. That's something that he's very masterful at too.
There's like, if you look at like everything he does, like even the Way Too Sexy joint, like it's very creative. It's a great, you know what I'm saying? It's just not that upper tier niche shit that Kendrick does. You know what I'm saying? But they both will be talked about in the future. You know what I mean? And we can't ignore the brilliance of both of them. You know what I'm saying? I think if you're looking for what that's why I don't think we need that shit from Drake, because we have Kendricks and we got books, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like you can read about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't writing about that shit too.
I don't think Drake would be successful trying to do what Kendrick does any more than Kendrick would be successful trying to do what Drake does. Like sure. I think that's why they both have risen to the level that they have, is that they're perfecting we talk about that with athletes all the time. If your personality is Michael Jordan, be Michael Jordan.
Right.
But if you're Shaq and you're trying to act like Michael Jordan, it's not going to work because that's not who you are. You know, I mean, so I think they both succeeded in that regard. And I agree that we don't need a 7 a.m. in the West Wing intro track about whether the military can be deployed successfully in humanitarian efforts or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
Drake probably listens to the Daily. We don't need him rapping about those topics. Though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, we good on that.
Tyler, can you
Like,
explain the world's most boring beef between Drake and Kanye? And how did Andre 3000? I'll be honest with you, man. I was off Twitter. Like, what happened? Can you explain this shit to me with Andre 3000?
Oh shit, bro? Drake and fucking Kanye been beefing. It seems like it really took off around the Pusha T time when Drake kind of accused Kanye of leaking information to Pusha T that Pusha T weaponized in their beef. And Pusha T denied it, said there's a mole in the OVO camp who leaked all that info. Maybe he's coming for his guy, maybe that's true. And then the fucking what was the song? The In My Feelings dropped by Drake off Scorpion. And Kanye, y'all remember when Kanye got on Instagram Live thinking Drake was talking to Kim Kardashian with the Kiki, do you love me shit? Yeah, so that's kind of where it all started from. Rap beefs have started from dumber shit, but this was a pretty dumb start to this rap beef too. But in more recent developments, Andre 3000 hopped on a track that was supposed to make Donda. It didn't. And he just, poured his heart out about his mom who passed. Right? It was just a beautiful, beautiful, introspective, reflective verse. And then Kanye hops on and talking about his beef with Drake and how he put Virgil and Drake in the group text and told Drake to leave Virgil alone. And then Drake leaks this. Like, I feel like Kanye is lame for hopping on, such an introspective record that Andre 3000 made about his mom and dragging that Drake beef into. And I feel like Drake is lame for releasing such a personal verse from 3000 without 3000's permission. So I feel like this beef is lame all around. It's not the good old fashioned rap beefs. I'm gonna beat you up and take your girl when I see you. Right? Like, that's the entertaining shit. It's just two dads in Calabasas beefing, bro. This is like lawn care beef right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers fighting over who got the best looking lawn and shit. It's boring, dog. It's boring.
You got that Marathon 2 from Lowe's.
They open hand fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? This is a slap box beef. It's, you know what I mean? But like, why get Andre 3000 out here playing flute for strangers and you gonna get this nigga involved in your beef? Right. A flute playing ass nigga? Like, no, I'm not Andre. And then like you said, that verse, it was, I listened to it on the toilet this morning and I was emotional. I had a soggy face. I'm taking this shit, you know what I mean? He may turn that toilet experience into an experience. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, dog, you gonna beef with this verse? Where he's talking about their mom's meeting and how he's, he said something he's talking about shit where like he's questioning heaven because if there's a heaven, wouldn't they let the moms talk to their sons? Like, and this, you gonna throw that out there, nigga? And also they cut that would have been I didn't really listen to Kanye's album. I'll be honest with you. I'm 2 hours, nigga. I got responsibilities, my nigga. You feel me? And also, I'm not the niggas.
I have a baby on the way.
I can listen to it in the background, I guess. But you know what I mean, nigga? I just turn on gospel and cry, listen to fucking, you know what I'm saying, BB and CC or some shit. Nigga, like, dog. Listen to the whinings, you know what I mean? But nah, man, like, I don't know, dog. Like, that was unfortunate to me. Out of all people, this is the dude you're gonna have in between y'all shit. And that verse, all of it was just fucking whack.
All of it.
Sure. But that verse though, woo-wee. I'm glad that verse came to life. I'm glad I got to experience that verse. But like Andre said, that's not the way we should experience it. But I love how you're saying, I'm hungry. I would have liked to have been on CLB. I want to work with Tyler. It seems like we're going to get more verses from Andre. And I think those verses would be great on other albums like Tyler, the Creator, maybe Kendrick. He mentioned that too. That would be fire as fuck.
Yeah. I guess the good thing to come out of this is 3000 put that bat signal out, because a lot of people probably stop hitting his phone thinking he wasn't working with anybody. So maybe we'll get some more 3000 verses from this. Fingers crossed.
And a 3000 verse with Kendrick, that verse deserves to be on a Kendrick album. It didn't. Yeah. This is what we got. I watched the Donda Experience like on Apple, and it was interesting with the visuals. I wasn't interested in the music. That's why I didn't listen to the album. But I've heard the songs. But I mean, I don't know if I'd want that in between, that verse in between that other shit that was on Donda. I don't even know if I'd want that verse on CLB, honestly. I think that verse would be great on Kendrick. You feel what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who's talking about that type of shit or deserves to have Andre 2000 on their album. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I want to ask you about Boosie tweeting about Lil Nas X sucking dick at 6:40 in the morning.
That nigga woke up like he woke up like Wade.
Yeah, like Wade in that Gatorade commercial. Like thinking about dicks.
But I'm gonna say this. Like I'm gonna just say this, and the memes I think have some truth to them. I think though Lil Nas X, his skin be popping. He's intriguing and interesting. You know what I mean? Like I think Boosie really is interested in Lil Nas X in a way. Like I don't know if he's like how people were saying, like he wants the man sexually. I don't know if it's that, but I think he's interested in Lil Nas X because he's fucking homophobic. He won't allow himself to be interested in a dude that's really interesting, and that's why he slashes out in these really idiotic, fucking problematic, dangerous fucking ways. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think I think Lil Nas X is one of the most interesting artists out. I think he's one of the most brilliant artists when it comes to the internet. I mean, this nigga was a barb, so he was birthed like he learned them through the fires. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like, dog, there's nothing wrong with being interested in somebody that's really interesting. But because he's like taking birth like pregnancy photos, talking about his album, it makes a weird ass nigga like Boosie uncomfortable. It's art, nigga.
Yeah. Everybody running to that tired ass. What are we gonna tell our kids about that shit, bro? For one, motherfucking Nickelodeon, like Fairly Odd Parents, Cosmo got pregnant on one of those episodes. Nigga, we grew up with the Cosby Show episode where all the dads were pregnant and gave birth to sub sandwiches. Y'all remember that shit? Like we didn't need a man being pregnant explained to us because we knew that doesn't fucking happen. But Boosie, I don't know, Boosie's obsession with not only Lil Nas X, but anytime there's something, quote unquote, that he thinks is pushing the bullshit gay agenda that doesn't fucking exist, like he just jumps to arms. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. Some shit he got to work out there, but
let me tell you something that my gay dad, who is closeted for most of his life, told me. If someone always is talking about gay people, there's a reason they're always talking. He's like, gay people don't always talk about straight people.
Right.
But that, I mean, my dad, when I was 12, he was just like, anytime you hear a Republican who's really fired up about gay people, I'll bet you everything I have.
We've seen that
there's
so
a
many
reason
times.
He's really fired up.
It's just for me. It's just like there's people that agree with this. Like he has followers that he is like, you know what I'm saying? That's where it's really dangerous. There's niggas that, you know what I'm saying, that will agree and spreading this bullshit. But like, yeah, bro, like that's that Boosie shit, man. Like, bro, Boosie, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Lil Nas X is very interesting. His fucking art is he's creative as fuck, bro. You know what I mean? We need to have a sit down with this man, talk to him. Why? Look,
it's okay to be who you are.
It's okay, bro. And I'll be honest, that skin be looking good, nigga. His skin be popping. I'm like, nigga, hey, drop the skin regimen, nigga. You feel me? The motherfucking skin popping. Ain't nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I be seeing some beautiful ass niggas out here too. I was like, that nigga beautiful. That's a motherfucker. Ain't nothing wrong with thinking the nigga beautiful. Nigga be beautiful too. It's okay, man. We all did that. It's space for that. You feel me?
When you were 16, though, if you noticed a man who was beautiful, did you think that? And if you thought that, did it bother you?
Nigga, of course. I didn't know who the fuck I was. I mean, like, this is me getting comfortable. Like, this is me comfortable. Like, if I was gay, I'd be gay as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is me getting comfortable with me knowing that whatever I want to be, I can be this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what nobody think for real. Like, I do, but I don't. Like, it's not going to stop me. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I mean,
but I think also, that's the thing. That's the thing about the. Anytime you see Boosie tweeting about that shit, it's like, I think almost every straight man I know had that mentality at some point in their adolescence or their early adulthood.
We were taught that too, though. Like we were taught to exist within boxes. And we realized...
I was taught that by my gay father. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But he probably didn't want you to go through that shit because he was going like, I hope this nigga ain't going through the same shit I'm going through.
That's why he was closeted into, you know what I mean? Like, yes, 100%.
My nigga Adrian said one time, he tweeted, do these boxes you guys live in stink? You know what I mean? I thought that was so brilliant.
Yeah, that's like, good.
Nigga, put that, tattoo that on my neck, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but like, yeah, bro, like we existed in boxes and they were restricting and we were uncomfortable in them too. You know what I mean? But when you get older, you get more comfortable with yourself. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know who I really think switched shit up? Young Thug. I think Young Thug, being a nigga from the fucking streets who niggas say was certified, really about that shit, taking a fucking photo on his covers. What I forgot the name of the album, but it was probably, I think it was one of my favorite albums of his, where he had a dress on. You know what I'm saying? And then calling his dudes lovers, and we were all weird about that shit. But now a lot of niggas, I love my niggas. You know what I'm saying? It taught us how, there's space for all of that shit. You know what I mean? And Boosie ain't there yet. You know, and it's like, nigga, you making it hard on you. You know what I'm saying? By existing within these invisible boxes that it's not even necessary, bro. You can still be Boosie and watch Lil Nas X and be like, damn, that nigga skin look good, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with it, baby. We good.
Nipsey's homies told a real funny story about the first time they met Young Thug. They said he came to the studio in a dress, and they were all kind of like, who's this nigga? And then they said he pulled a motherfucking Draco out the dress, and they was like, okay, this is a real nigga. All right, so the duality of Young Thug, man. I think that definitely played a part here, man.
We need a documentary on the duality of Young Thug too, and I think how it's affected everything since he's come out. I think he's very, not just musically, but how he moves has been very influential in how the black men that fuck with that type of shit are moving. Yeah, moved since then. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make fun of, like, there was like Drewski made a video talking about Atlanta niggas talking about my lover, talking about their homie and shit, twin and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, niggas wasn't doing that before. You know what I'm saying? But these some real niggas talking about calling their homies my lover, you know, shit like that. I love it. Pulling a Draco on the motherfucking dress, sign me up.
That's my type of hooting and hollering there. So that's some Andy Oakley shit, goddamn. Yeah, I'm with it.
Pull that big long ass Draco. It probably took 20 minutes for him to get that big ass motherfucking gun out that dress. You know what I mean? But that's beautiful. That's beautiful to me, dog.
Speaking of fluidity and duality, what was the question one of you were asking about gummy bears when I was coming back from the bathroom?
Oh, that's Tyler. That was Tyler.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shouts to my homie Mo, Miss Peacherino on Twitter. She posed a very interesting question. are gummy bears candy or not?
Or
And
a
I
fruit
would
snack.
like-
You said candy or a fruit snack?
Yeah, candy or a fruit
okay.
snack. So which way do you guys lean? Inquiring minds want to know.
It's candy to me. And I think part of it is packaging. You don't really see fruit snacks. I mean, maybe now you do. But like, I haven't seen like a pack of fucking 6 fucking gummy bears. You buy a big, gummy bears and Twizzlers and shit, you buy them in the same way. I think it's candy, bro. To me. They'll sell fruit snacks at the movies, my nigga. You feel what I'm saying?
They do. They sell them little weak ass Welch's fruit snacks at the movies.
Oh,
but
those are
as a man who's been
similar too. I'll be fucking with that.
I saw Candyman and Shang-Chi. I've been in the movies twice in a week for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah.
They had the Welch's fruit snacks. I would guess I've eaten more candy than anyone else on this podcast, and I'm confident I've eaten more gummy bears than anyone else on this podcast. I bought a pack of gummy bears last week. It's Haribo gummy bears, the number one gummy bear brand in America.
Actually, no, Black Forest Fire too.
Albanese is my pick, bro. Y'all ever had Albanese
over the Haribos?
This is why I lean towards them being fruit snacks. Albanese uses real fruit juice in their gummy bears. That's a fruit snack, bro.
Probably because that's your preference. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen them.
You think candy has real fruit juice?
No, I don't. I don't think. I think maybe certain countries, but I don't think so. But like
Skittles has an actual rainbow in the packaging. Skittles is made with actual rainbow juice.
Lots of people don't know that.
People don't know that.
The most version that people eat is not made with fruit juice. Like I've never even heard of those Albanese joints you talk about, my nigga. And I need to get hip. They sound fire as fuck.
Yeah.
My preferred joints are Haribo, which I think the German joints are Black Forest. And them shits is...
Them Haribo sours go crazy, bro.
You said what?
The sour Haribos, you try them?
Oh, yeah, them shits crazy.
Oh,
them shits
yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm talking about regular gummy bears. I think Black Forest probably I think I'm kind of leaning into them a little bit.
They're not shelved with the fruit snacks. They are shelved with the candy.
But that might be just, this is a really interesting... I wish we had her on here to break down. You know what I'm saying? Like
she probably has 40 arguments on either side.
Before she dropped it, because she knew the heat was coming for her. So she had, she had her shit all planned out. You feel me? I know she did. You feel
it's like my thing about how Gatorade is juice. Like I have a counter argument for every argument. It's juice.
It's not. No.
Is fruit juice used? Is fruit juice used at all in Gatorade though? Because like even the bullshit juice is like fruit juice from concentrate. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's my thing. Is if you don't think Gatorade is juice, then most of the things that you would term juice are not juice.
Because orange juice is like 3% actual orange juice.
It's usually less. Yeah. Like Sunny Delight does not have any.
Sunny Delight is drink, nigga. That's drink.
Yeah.
that juice. That shit drink.
That shit is antifreeze, bro. That shit is. You should not be able. You should not be able to choose something you drink, bro. Like Sunny Delight is its own category, dog.
Sunny Delight freezes at negative 10 degrees Celsius.
High C is juice, but that would be closer to. Yeah. Gatorade and probably like the juice that we. So I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. There's some points to be made there.
You know also, I mean? Yeah. Okay.
Capri Sun is juice too. Yeah, but that's not really juice.
We don't really have a great Booger Boy of the Week candidate, so I'm just gonna go to Old Reliable. I'm gonna pull Old Reliable out of the case at Terry Crews. The best thing about being uninvited to the cookout. ... ellipses.
Build attention.
Is you never drank the Kool-Aid.
The most interesting part of their tweet is that ellipses in Twitter are now they confine they like take out the spacing. Did you see how they switched that up now on Twitter?
Nerd.
There goes that marketing eye.
The kerning on the ellipse was.
No, you used the word kerning. I love you so much.
Y'all know I'm nerdy. I just country ass, nerdy ass nigga, dog.
But when we used to have to lay the newspaper out in college, kerning, that was my shit. I was like, if we bump it up to plus 2.5 kerning, it fills the column.
You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But no, man, like, I used the word, my response to that literally was good grief. That shit turned me into Charlie Brown. I said, good grief. What the fuck is this? Like, nigga, you really are this nigga now? You leaning into this, like, and nobody likes him. Like, it's not like the right side. It's not like he's getting like the bag from the right, you know what I mean? Or, you know, because for being this nigga, he's just become a nigga that everybody's like, who the fuck is this? You feel me? Like, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, it's like, you know, lots of people were riding with him when he was, you know, taking us, you know, that stand against, you know, the perverts in Hollywood. And then it was like, bro, when it was time for you to, you know, kind of return the favor of people who were riding for you, he was like, that ain't my business. I ain't in it. You know, I'm like, dog. Like that's when everyone was like, well, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? So he built a lot of goodwill that he just threw all the way away, just flushed down the toilet with, you know, little bullshit like this. And yeah.
Now we don't talk about barbecues.
Yeah.
Nigga, we know you eat vegan barbecue, nigga.
Right.
You throwing carrots on the fucking grill. Shut the fuck up, nigga.
Your chesticles. There's no barbecue sauce in those chesticles.
I can't believe.
I remember where it all went downhill for him when Gabrielle Union said that she faced discrimination on some shit that her and Terry Crews were working together on. I forget the show, but you know, and Terry Crews was a guy who, you know, faced discrimination too. And Gabby was going hard as fuck for Terry during this shit. And then they looked at Terry Crews and he said some bullshit like, the only woman in this world I have to be loyal to is my wife. We were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Nigga, ain't nobody talking about all that, though.
Yeah, like, goddamn, you can't call out some fuck shit, you know, for someone who called out some fuck shit for you?
What is that like? It's like, I think the term is like ad hominem or some shit. Like when you like make a totally different, you know what I'm saying, argument has nothing to do with it in order to defend. Nigga, you what the fuck is you on right now? You know what I mean? Like, and he fucked himself up when he didn't have to. You can also just shut the fuck up and, you know, people will ask questions, but it won't ruin you. Don't forget that option.
He watched the scene in the Joker movie where he's bombing on stage that meme came from, and he was like, this is it for me.
Yeah,
that's it. That's what I'm this is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Not the still image, but the whole video. That's the life that I want to live.
Right. This nigga said, you don't have to drink the Kool-Aid. I bet he hit that motherfucker and dropped it like, I got the ass. Bitch,
put his finger in put his finger in the air like Larry Bird at the 3-point contest and shit. But yeah, I remember him tweeting
that bitch with his pinky up, like, you know what I'm saying? Pink sand, you know, nigga, shut your bitch ass up, nigga.
Bro, I remember him tweeting when people asked him why he wasn't riding with Gabrielle Union after all she did for him, and he tweeted some shit like I'm a pig, you're a chicken. Just because you give me eggs don't mean I owe you bacon. Or some shit like that. And I was like, get this fucking Dumbo Crow out of here. Who is this motherfucker?
He's a Dumbo.
He ain't a blowfish ass nigga.
What the fuck? Yeah, Terry Crews talking about. He is a clown of the highest order, bro. Right. Perpetual booger boy. We can light his ass up. We can come back and light his ass up whenever we don't have anyone. Right. I promise you we can.
Whenever we need a booger boy, we know right where to go. Right to that nigga timeline.
He might have a sponsorship lined up. Okay. Tyler, you tweeted about this. J.R. Smith is going through a classic first year at an HBCU radicalization. Can you please explain this?
I'm so happy for him. He's going through the freshman African American history radicalization at a HBCU. See, that's one of the things that I've said it before, is that HBCU professors, especially at my alma mater, A&T, where J.R. Smith is at, they shoot straight, right? Like, they tell us there's no sugarcoating of the history. That's what I love most about A&T, is when I went there, our professors made no qualms about, we're preparing you for a world that you're going to be at a disadvantage of because you're black. You know what I mean? They didn't sugarcoat that shit, right? And so JR is getting hit with these truth bombs that he's, that are just opening his eyes, because, JR's admittedly said, I wasn't big on school. He skipped college, went straight to the NBA. School ain't for everybody, but I'm glad he's making this step here. And it's just heartwarming for me to know that every HBCU freshman, regardless of age, kind of goes through a bit of a radicalization when they go through those African American history classes. So that kind of hit me in the heart.
I think that's why, like, if you're talking about, I probably should have went to a HBCU. I would have enjoyed at least certain subjects. I've always loved learning. I just didn't learn things I thought were interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I read Malcolm X and college autobiography because I wanted to read it. They didn't assign that to me because like I said, I didn't have a black teacher. You feel me? So like seeing him go through that and get excited about shit is really dope because he's learning about shit he actually gives a fuck about. And I think that's the difference. If I was at a HBCU, like, yeah, we're gonna have the same general edge, but the way they approach is gonna be different. It's gonna be tailored more for me and what the fuck I'm gonna give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, you know what I mean? Everything else around them, I'm gonna be black as fuck too.
That too.
Country as fuck too at A&T.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my whole shit. You feel me? My whole thing. But yeah, like, I think that's dope to see, like, him talking about that. Like, we got a 71 out of 75. You know, J.R. Smith just needed something he was gonna be interested in. You feel me? And he found that. And I love that shit. I love that shit.
Shout out to Mr. Mulvihill, my 8th grade U.S. history teacher at Hughes Middle School. Go Owls! He literally did that. He was a like third eye, like, I'm teaching you the real history of America type of a teacher, and he did that with the globe. He was like, this is what you were taught the world looks like. This is what the world really looks like with the sizes of the continents and shit. And we were all like, we're like, you were the one who was going to teach us what the world looked like. So you're just telling us the real thing first, which is great. But it gave me a skewed idea of what most people knew about America.
my sister,
bro, Africa is huge.
Huge.
I was gonna say Africa is huge, and that Mercator projection is a fucking racist ass lie.
You feel me?
Flat out. That shit got Greenland like the size of Africa, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, dog?
Right. He was explaining that to us in 8th grade, bro. You know what I mean? So we got to high school and it's like, I don't even need to be deprogrammed from anything this dude.
I'm
gonna tell you, the first time where I was probably quote unquote woke was when we found out the 7 continents and Europe and Asia were 2 different continents. I was like, bro, how? This is the same motherfucking landmass. You know what I'm saying? And there's been a shift towards that where people are kind of teaching Eurasia as a single continent now. But yeah. But when we were growing up, it was Europe and Asia. And the only difference is cultural between Europe and Asia. It's the same fucking continent. You know what I mean?
Right. My sister brought this up when I was rapping yesterday. And she was talking about how I always, like, I didn't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance because I used to talk about how I felt like I was being brainwashed. Like, why the fuck are we doing? I'm asking this shit in like middle school or whatnot. You know what I mean? And so that's what school felt like to me. So if I had teachers that brought that shit up, like, this is, oh, okay. I would have tapped all the way in, but they was all, you know, drinking the Kool-Aid, like Jenkins said, like everybody else. And I'm like,
I'm a pig, you a chicken. Just because you got egg don't make bacon.
Right. I'm a pig and they was a chicken. You was
a pig and they was a chicken. Just because you had bacon don't mean you got to give you the eggs or whatever the fuck.
Nigga, I was like, damn, I had like 3 Alabama history. I'm like, damn, I think I had enough Alabama history. Nigga, what's going on in other countries, my nigga? God damn. At least other states, shit, fuck out of here. But anyway.
All right, we'll end with, I know this is a longer episode, but if you're listening to it on a holiday, you probably really need this podcast. So we're going to throw in one more topic. My wife and I saw Shang-Chi yesterday, so I very much want to talk about some superhero shit. And somebody tweeted basically about just how trash it would be to exist in a city as a civilian where there were superheroes. And I want to give them credit because they got is at Jams84. They have like 12,000 fucking quote tweets on this shit.
God damn.
Of just people imagining how horrible it would be to just be stuck in a traffic jam trying to get to work on a Tuesday because Superman and Doomsday are fighting on the overpass or whatever.
And what's funny is that's our favorite part of the movies is the destruction. And there's a whole bunch of civilians like, nigga, they don't got insurance for this. You know what I'm saying? Superman threw my car in a fight. Bitch, that sounds like a personal problem. That is not...
You would probably legit have to buy superhero damage coverage on your insurance. And there's probably motherfuckers skipping that shit left and right till they come out and see the goddamn Hulk through a building on top of their Subaru, and now they shit out of luck. Now you still got 3 years left to pay because you ain't signed up for the superhero destruction, deductible shit.
Nigga, toss your Prius 1.5 miles. Nigga, what do you hit the insurance and say? You know what I mean? What do you say to them niggas? It's over for you. That's coming out of your pocket.
I'm imagining you live in a major city, but it's not LA, Chicago, or New York. Like you live in Seattle, and you're like, I could skip that. There's no superheroes in Seattle. And then you watch one Superman gets punched across 4 states, and you're like, oh shit. Now he's in Idaho. That's not that far away. And then he gets punched again. And he's in Olympia, and you're like, oh no.
But like, dog, if you in Seattle, shit, Godzilla might walk out the water onto your shit. You feel me? And is that a superhero or not? Now we got some, you know what I'm saying? There's some issues there.
There's definitely an insurance adjuster saying, right. No, you had superhero insurance, not monster insurance.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga, there's an additional $6.99 a month for that, and you didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Nigga. Renter's insurance, all that shit, because they tossing whole buildings, nigga. They be fighting with a whole building, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That shit will be wild, dog. But yeah.
I think it will be a world like it's portrayed in The Boys. You know what I mean? Where there'll be a lot of shitty superheroes. You know what I mean? Because we've seen that any type of power that a lot of human gets corrupts them. You know what I mean? So, like, I remember the first scene in The Boys that fucked me up was the scene where the dude was with his girlfriend and then the fast dude. Y'all know that scene? And then he was...
That was 8 seconds into the fucking film.
The series. I was like, God damn. Yeah.
Left that... He turned her into 2 hands. And the rest of her was juice. Juice. And didn't even stop. He didn't even... You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? You just got hands in your fucking... Right? That's some cold ass shit, bro. But yeah, man, I think it will be like that. And we don't even, like, with all the... Nigga, you might be in that Prius that got tossed a mile and a half. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Superman ain't so super when he tossed your ass with the Prius, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Fuck that shit, man.
It's fun in the movies. It's fun to me. It's fun. Right, it's fun to pretend. Shang-Chi was great. Go see Shang-Chi.
I'm gonna check it out. That sounds great. That sounds like my whole shit. You know,
I was like,
it's a for real kung fu film. Like, it feels like a kung fu joint for real. There we go.
It feels like it feels like. I mean, there's references to a couple different types of martial arts movies, but there are the stuff that was most exciting to me is. There's 2 or 3 fight scenes in there that are like top tier Jackie Chan type street fighting movies that are, it was just like, how are we getting this in the Marvel universe? Like, you know what I mean?
You know what movie snuck up on me? Kung Fu Hustle. I really wasn't interested when they first marketed it. And I saw it one day, like just on like TV. I'm like, this shit is fucking perfect. It's a perfect fucking movie. I don't know if y'all peeped it yet.
I never seen it.
Kung Fu Hustle is insane. Nobody talks about this shit. That's what tripped me out. It's such a good fucking film. Please watch Kung Fu Hustle. It's incredibly good.
How does Shang-Chi tie into the whole fucking Marvel universe phase? What phase 5, whatever the fuck we're on that we got going on?
Yeah, I don't even know if they're still doing the phases now because it was like now they're calling the first 3 phases the Infinity Saga, and so I think we're just on the other side of that. There's some like fun interactions with the other movies that I don't want to spoil for people like me who don't read every fucking piece of information that comes out about these movies. But there's some people from the other movies that are in it, and then the scene at the end, it's definitely like more of an origin story about him, and then I think you kind of see at the end how the 10 rings that are sort of these objects of power are going to end up tying into some of the multiverse, other universal type shit. I don't think that's spoiling anything. That's coming in the other stuff. So, very good. It's hard for me not to disclose the cameos because there was very fun scenes involving that. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting, bro. Like the bigger the Marvel universe gets, it's like they've basically said that the next Doctor Strange movie is a horror movie. This is just a straight up like. You know, this is just like a straight up martial arts movie, like origin story for, I mean, they could just do 10 Shang-Chi movies that have nothing to do with the Marvel universe. But like, as it keeps getting bigger, I love that there's these different kinds of movies in it that you just think about us watching the Michael Keaton Tim Burton Batman movie in 1989. And
right.
This shit would not have made any fucking sense. You know, that it's like, oh, actually, it's like the superhero movie is like a medium now, and there's genres within the superhero medium. Like, it's shit's crazy, bro. But go see it. It's very good.
We'll be tapping in.
Did you see Candyman, John?
Not yet. I haven't seen it yet. I heard people are saying the plot wasn't that good. I'm thinking like, I heard it's beautifully shot.
It's beautiful.
Like I think people go into
the plot's pretty predictable, bro. But that's horror. That's horror movies.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
the plots weren't.
Guess what happens when you say his name in a mirror 5 times?
You said what? Yeah, right. You know, I mean, like, I just don't. I think people go to movies expecting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to get these. I'm approach Candyman how I approach Drake albums, and I think I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Well, I remember when Avatar came out, and I had friends who were like, the script really left something to be desired. And I was like, this is like talking about the special effects in Pride and Prejudice, bro. You don't go to see fucking Avatar for character development. You went for the special effects. You don't go to Candyman for a completely unexpected plot. I mean, at least I didn't. It was much more beautifully shot than I would have expected a Candyman horror movie to be.
But yeah, people go to that. People go to, like, you know what I'm saying? So-and-so was like, you know, Die Hard 17 was a bad film. Of course, it's Die Hard 17. You go for the fucking explosions, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We're not going for, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, but I don't know. I think I'm expecting to like it because I'm going to approach it in a way. I'm not going to approach it how I approach my French films that I watch in the Criterion channel. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you mean, nigga?
Your French films.
Bro, I'll be taking my little bath. I get high as fuck on Tuesdays and watch me a little French film. You feel what I'm saying?
Blessings. All right. That's your Labor Day edition of Jenkins and Jonez. We will be back on Thursday. As a reminder, read They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us. I think Hanif's going to be joining us on the next episode.
Hanif, yeah, we are going to have Hanif Abdur-Rakib on. We're going to tweet out, you know, the whole shoot us your questions things, you know, this week. So we'll get that going. It's going to be fun, man. We're trying to do a hands-on interactive book club here, guys.
Let's go.
Where we're speaking with the actual authors.
And so look for that. We'll tweet that out on Tuesday or Monday or at some point and get your questions in. And then next week, we will be reading the first half of How the Word Is Passed by Clint Smith. Who, by the way, I noticed was in the acknowledgments for Hanif's book. So that's just our thing. Is we're just reading. Nigga. We're reading books by poets who wrote nonfiction books that are captivating and who are friends. So, but I'll give the specific chapters. But plan on getting that book, and then 2 Thursday episodes. We'll talk about the first half of that. So, book club.
I'm really enjoying this off-season shit, man. Whew. I might start watching football again, guys. I think maybe being in the South has made me feel like I want to, like, maybe when I go back to Cali, I won't care as much.
I'm not doing fantasy football or picks league. I'm not doing anything, but I might end up watching. I'm more excited for football, but that's also because the 49ers have a good young quarterback. So I don't know. It's more of a personal shits to me. I don't know.
I'll actually turn on a football game this year, probably on the NFL. I'll
just watch the Chiefs. You watch the Chiefs and, you know, pretend they're from St. Louis and you'll fucking fall in love with football.
Bro, we really clown Kansas City niggas in St. Louis, bro. It's so real. It's like country ass Kansas. Like, we ain't country. You feel me? Like country ass Kansas City niggas. You know what I'm saying? But we the same shit, but not really though. St. Louis is way better of a city in my opinion. You know what I mean?
You sound like every Long Beach Dodgers fan that I know. Yes, 100%. It's like I don't like wearing an LA hat, but you know, it's like, but I mean. It's a Dodgers hat. You feel me? Not like, yeah, exactly. Right. All right. Thanks for fucking with us. We'll be back on Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.